Hey folks. Alright, so I was a bit confused there because my game mode wasn't picking the game up, but I had the wrong app. Alright, guys, let me know what the sound quality is like. If I'm a little bit too quiet compared to the music and stuff, just let me know, folks. Thank you. Let's see who we've got. Anybody in the chat right now? I've got 4 concurrent viewers. Let's see if I can get 4 people saying hello in the chat. Come on, guys. You know you want to. Alright, so there we go. Let's play Battle Queen. Now, there has actually been a new version of this game kind of released. Joe Perez, hello, says, usually your music is a bit loud for me. Okay, let me see what I can do. What's it sounding like now? By the way, the volume will go down dramatically once the menu music finishes. But let's turn that down already. Okay. Let's wait for the game to load in. Yeah, so there's been a new version, and here we go. Yeah, we got a new version of the game. Now, I'm not playing it. The reason being is because Brad's described it as the even buggier version. Now, people have been testing that actual version. It's available to the public. It's what they're calling a preview build. It's so for those of you who want to play like the bleeding edge versions, there's a whole load of new stuff gone in, including a bunch of fixes. So for various crashes and things. So it might be worth you playing that if you want to, but just be aware that, you know, it is. Oh, look at this. It might be, yeah, it might still be a little bit buggy. Now, apparently it just fixed some of the crashes. So I'm playing on the standard version, which is still a beta 1, essentially, 0.5. So just be aware that there are some crashes here and there, and, you know, there's a couple of monsters, I think, that can kick off a crash, which has been fixed in that new version. But I just need to keep an eye out for them, just make sure they're not there. But other than that, everything's good. I've been enjoying playing this. I always liked Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes. I always thought it was a great fun game. So, Joe Paris says, much better now in my opinion. Now I'll be able to listen to your comments during battles. Thank you very much. Dave Flute saying, hi Ben, love this game. Dev Journal 13 was very interesting. Yeah, I thought so too. Was that the one about, yeah, was that the one where he was talking about the this new build? I can't remember which one it was, or whether that was a news post. I can't keep up with them all. CB Den Bonesman saying, hello BM, I jumped into the EA a few days ago. Okay, how are you finding it so far? Because, I mean, the feedback on the game that we've had so far has been pretty high. There are, you know, some people have been complaining about the bugs, and that's fair enough. There are bugs. It is an early access game, you know, it is an early access, so there are going to be bugs. And actually, Brad Wardell did a really interesting dev blog. Maybe this is one that Dave's talking about, but talking about you know, expectations about early access, and I think his comments were pretty interesting, because it's clear that everybody's got a different opinion of what EA should be. Like, for some people it should be like this. It's like, you know, a testing period where you can get new ideas in and there's going to be bugs. Other people think it should be an almost polished, you know, an almost finished product, and, you know, you're just doing balance changes. That's less common, I think, but, you know, some developers use it like that. Other developers just use it and they just put in like a half-finished game. You're really not supposed to do that on Steam. Anyway, let's see where we are. Okay. Oh, we're actually getting some people watching. Nice. Okay, come and say hello in chat. One of the reasons why I do these, by the way, is just to sort of sit in and hang out with you guys. So I'm more bothered about that than I am about playing, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I love playing this game. But I'm interested in just kind of connecting with you guys and seeing what you've got to say, because this is Stardock's new release. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, I work for Stardock, so just take everything that I say with a big grain of salt when it comes to the critique of the game. I'm not a liar, and I won't make stuff up. But I do have a, you know, what do you call it? I've got a conflict of interest, obviously, so I do try to act like a critic with most games. With this game and any other Stardox games, you have to be aware that I've got a conflict of interest, so I have to make that clear. CB saying, fun, definitely bugs and crashes. I'm mixed on how many turns it seems to take to win. Not a fan generally of having to go do hundreds of turns, but the turns do go by quickly. Yeah, so there's a lot of turns in this game. This is a high turn count 4x, but they do go quickly. And there's, yeah, I don't know, like I'm one of those, I don't mind long games providing that they're entertaining all the way through. Like if they become a slog, then that's not good. Also, if the game is too automated feeling, like whether it's actually automated or whether it just feels automated because you're just kind of like clicking through the Schaefer button and then it jumps you to each thing, then I start losing my connection with the game, and then that's when long games start turning me off as well. Newmanson saying, your beard is entirely in frame. Yes. David A, hello. Are you playing Beta 1A, the more buggy edition? No, I'm not. I'm right. The reason why I'm not playing that is it's got a load of new features and it has got a bunch of bug fixes. But I wanted just to complete this game, or at least to play some more of this game that I was playing on, because you'll have all seen loads of gameplay from like the beginning of the game now. But I've actually got myself in quite an interesting situation here where, I might lose, and I think. So I've seen some people complaining about the AI and stuff on Steam, and I think this is a classic Stardock game in the sense that if you set the game up right, the game will be challenging, and the AI will be good. But the AI is designed to play as if you set it up to be challenging, okay? Like, as if I think with Galsiv's got the same problem where if you just leave it on default settings and you don't really know what you're doing, the game can seem to be quite passive if you've just given yourself a load of friendly civilizations around you. And if you're wanting a war focused game and then everybody's just sat holding hands singing Kumbaya, it's not very fun, right? And that's one of the big problems with Galciv. You kind of have to know how to play it in order to be able to play it. Whereas with this one's a little bit similar, but I found that the best way to set this game up is to make sure you've got plenty of opponents. So jam more, like same with Galciv as well. If you want an action packed game, jam more AI into the game and you will get pressure. The AI is quite good at attacking you if you're weak in this. Tenryu, hello. It says, I've shelved the game for now. It is not an enjoyable state, at least for me. I don't want to spoil my experience by playing it at this stage. That's fair enough. I mean, I think the game's pretty complete, to be honest. To me, it feels like now they're just kind of fixing bugs and adding new stuff, right? But at least in terms of the game structure, right, unless they're planning on making drastic changes, this is basically how Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes played, right? And you can play this game right from the start right to the finish with pretty much all of those features. There's a few things that's not in there, like a couple of the races are notably missing, but these guys have come back. The Syndicate, is it? Yeah, these guys have come back. These are kind of scary. Syndicate Rebel Party. CB says that the autoflow turn does seem to hate with that or hurt with that. I'm not sure what you mean there. Unless I forgot to check my notifications. Oh, sorry, help probably says. The autoflow turn notifications does seem to help with that unless I forgot to check my notifications. Yeah, so I think that a classic Schaefer button will not allow you to actually go to your next turn until you've done everything that it needs to. I don't like that. Like, I think, like, it's not that I hate it. Like, it's just the way things are now. And John Schaefer's a genius, right? He's a really clever games designer, and it is a cool thing. The problem is that I find that, and this is a very battle mode problem, and I was saying this to some of the people at Stardock, I don't expect anybody else will have this same complaint, but my issue with the Schaefer button is it kind of makes the game feel automated, right? So you kind of going, you just click this. Galsiv's got this problem, so you click it and then it's like, oh, I'm dealing with that now. Okay, I click that. Oh, now I'm dealing with that. That takes me out of the game, right? So I like to kind of do stuff for myself, but I think in terms of 99.9% of the audience, having a Schaefer button in this, a proper one where you cannot progress to the next turn until you've, a friend of mine calls it the broccoli button, which is, no end of turn for you until you've eaten all your greens, young man. that made me laugh, but it's so true. And it's like that's kind of how you feel. It's like, I just want to end the turn. No, you can't, because you've got to go and now do, like, set this to build. Well, rather than having that, I would just rather it that the cities, auto produce something, if you forgot to put something in there. So Elemental at the moment, if you forget to build something, you will just not go through it, right? But you will always get a little. This will be yellow. I think this is fine. I did see Brad had talked about the UI. I don't think the UI needs changing in this game. I think the UI is great. I really don't have a problem with the user interface in this game. And so, you know, I'm going to have a bit of a rant now before I start playing, right? I think 95% of UI complaints seem to be, in my opinion, from modern gamers, or, you know, from most gamers, seem to be, this game is, you know, it's just old. It feels old. And I don't think that everything needs to be modernized. I don't think that like, modernizing stuff often makes things worse, in my opinion. And so I don't know what they're planning on doing to the user interface, but I hope they don't mess with it too much, because I really like the user interface in this game. I think it's easy to use. The only thing that I didn't like about this game was the building, and they fixed it, right? So, for example, before, you click through these and it was really easy to accidentally place stuff, right? And now it's just fixed. I don't see the need. I guess there's something that I occasionally do where is I forget to press build, right? So I click on something, but you can either do it like this, look, if you want to build a bell tower, for example, let's say, you just put it down there, or you click build and it will just build it wherever it is, you know, automated to go. That's pretty much the only user interface complaint that I've got about this game. So I don't understand the need. I think Brad was also talking about putting in controller, you know, so people can play with controllers. Now, I know a lot of PC gamers hate that. When they hear that, they go, oh god, the game's going to get dumbed down. And it's like, no, not necessarily. Like, for example, Battle Queen, yeah, she loves to play with a controller. She will play with games with mouse and keyboard if she has to, but if she's got the option, she'll always play with a controller. She finds it more comfortable. And I think, you know, a lot of gamers have come from console backgrounds. I come from a console background. I was a console gamer long before I had a PC. At least in the 90s, you know. By console, I mean, like, you know, Sega Mega Drive. But, you know, I came from consoles as well, so I like using joypads with a lot of games. I just hope that doesn't come at the expense of changing this user interface, because I don't really think, like, how many people are going to play this game on a controller? I don't know. Like I say, you know, like Battle Queen would probably quite enjoy parts of this game, I think, if it was, you know, if it was a bit easier to play. So yeah, I guess I do see the complaint, I do see the argument. I just think I'm not seeing the, I don't know. Brad knows stuff that I don't know. CB says that the autoflow turn to see. Oh, sorry. Professor 00179 says I have a bit of a backlog to pick up right now, but I look forward to when I eventually get around to it. I never played Fallen Enchantress because it was old. So great idea with the remake. Yeah, I mean, so this is very, to me, and you know, this is my personal opinion here. This is very close to Fallen Enchantress. It feels to me like Fallen Enchantress with new features from the other games. Yeah, that's how it feels to me. It's like that. It's clear that Fallen Enchantress was the base that they've used, but I didn't play Elemental, and in fact, I didn't even play the original Fallen Enchantress. I did play Sorcerer King, which I thought was a very good idea, but I didn't quite get into it. CB saying, I hate the cliffs, they need to go away. I can't walk on them, why are they there? They're there to give you some structure to the map. So, and there's, you know, obviously having more terrain in a 4X game, like I don't like 4X games that don't have terrain. It's one of the reasons why I didn't like Age of Wonders 4 for a while, because you could just, it didn't seem to matter what the terrain was. You could just march straight over it, and there was nothing in the game that really broke the strategic map up, so you couldn't really play tactically on the strategic map. But I think they've fixed that now, apparently, but I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that people say about Age of Wonders I don't agree with. Dave Flute says, I know it's a Reforged, but could do with better ground textures in the open squares. Yeah, I think you're probably right. No, I don't know. I think the textures are supposed to be something that is being updated, but I don't know. I don't want to speak for Stardock there, because I'm not really sure. I still think this game looks great though. Look at these little trees, man. Like I think the graphics on this game stand up today. Now I know it's not going to be Age of Wonders quality, but the Age of Wonders doesn't do what this game does. It doesn't have these, you know, you can't see your units with their own individual weapons and stuff. This is much more detailed in terms of what it's attempting to do than Age of Wonders. Age of Wonders though is very, very nice looking. I'm not going to argue with that. I think it's a great looking game. Okay, I didn't really want to build a bell tower here, so I think what we're going to do is into New Paradise. Jump into New Paradise, and we're just going to drop that bell tower down. And I think we'll go with, I think we need to train some units. Now the Sax Maiden's okay. I can't remember where we're at with the game. Let's just take a look at the research. Okay, so we've got blacksmithing and armor now. So let's just go into and just see that Axe Maiden that I made. Did I upgrade? No. Okay, so I didn't. So, for example, we can get chain shirt here, but we'd have to have chain mail proficiency. think both are important, to be honest. I think I'd actually go with chainmail here. They give these give them access to this better stuff. Now they are going to probably going to take more metal. Shield. Yeah, look, yeah, these are expensive now, but we have. Oh, hang on, let me just check this, guys. Just let me know, folks, if is there a connection in OBS, or I think it was YouTube that did, but ooh, we're really low, aren't we? I wonder what's going on there. Sorry, folks. Let me just make sure there's nothing else that's open. It's downloading stuff. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Other apps. Yeah, it's really low, isn't it? Just a sec, folks. I'm just going to just bear with me a minute. I'm just going to put the. I'm just going to come back shortly. You probably can't hear me see this, so. I'm going to ask her to refrain when she comes back from wherever she's gone. Alright. We could have horseback axe riders. That's kind of cool. Problem is we need horses, and I don't think we've got any horses right now. They look really cool, don't they? I like these. Right, so I think that's okay. So let's just save that. And we'll call that Axe Chain Maiden. Okay. Let me just edit that name, sorry. And we'll have to... I currently look at it doesn't delete the old one, so I think there's a reason behind that. So it doesn't delete your old designs if you know, so you can keep them go back to them iteratively. But yeah. Okay, there we go. So 4 seasons. Now, this is going to cost 27 of metal, so we're not going to be able to train many of these, but we need something that is going to be kind of tough. And these guys are going to be tough, look. Because they've got 15 defense, and that's gonna help them against some of the stuff that we're coming up against at the moment. Okay, let's end the turn. Now I've got some Syndicate thugs incoming, and we've got some of these guys from Warlord Vega's army. Now we're not at war with Vega, but I just got out of. Ooh, look at these guys. Yeah, these are strong. Is it just the one guy? I think so. Yeah, it's just these, look. Hang on a minute. It's not quite right, though. I think there's more than that. Okay. I was getting a bit confused. Let's get these troops out. We'll get Battle Queen and this existing Axe Maiden party. Now, we can actually upgrade this one, I think. No, we can't, because that one doesn't have the chainmail proficiency, that's why. Okay. Rabisu, who dwells in anguish. Okay. It's a monster. So I'll have to deal with that. Now, the Syndicate Destroyers party I do want to get rid of. Let's send these guys out here and we'll see if we can take these on. Yeah, these are a medium threat. So yeah, it is just one. Look, they've just got really, really high hit points. And they hit really, really hard as well. But it's one. I think we'll be okay. So, what do we want to do? By the way... Mary discusses saying slow mode instead of battle mode. Is that better now? Yeah, it'll be better because I just stopped whatever it was that the missus was downloading. I'll have to go. I'll go and explain to her in a minute when she comes back. Well, let's just go in and whack these guys. Let's see if we can get a decent hit in. Oh, 4 damage. Sad. Okay. In that case, we are gonna. Yeah, we're gonna have to chew through these guys. I remember this being the problem last time. The Axe Maidens might do a little bit more damage here. Nope. Okay. In that case, let's just get Burning Blade on Battle Queen here. Now, Iriel. Let's get this. I forgot he's got this guard skill. There we go. The power of the defensive characters. I had a lot of fun back in the day making really heavy defensive builds in this game. Okay. CB saying, better now, by the way, once I unlock 4 unit stacks, how do I upgrade the 3 unit versions of the same type? I don't know the answer to that question. Like off the top of my head. I think you can do it. But I'll have a look in a minute. There we go. Bit more damage there from Battle Queen. Oh, more damage coming in now. Okay, I think I just had a couple of bad rolls at the start there. We'll get Iriel to come in. Oh, he actually hit for once. One-eyed bandit. He usually misses. There we go. Syndicate Destroyer killed. Yeah, I think this, I don't know if this has been fixed in the new version, but I've been hearing good things from people who are playing this new version. That it's actually looking pretty good, despite Brad saying it's going to be more buggy. Little bit says just click upgrade on the unit while in your territory. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there you go. It's that one there. Look, it's this. This will upgrade their size. Okay, get out. Leave my territory or prepare for war. Be gone with you. Let's bring these guys. Well, where do they want to go? So I shouldn't really have pieced out with this guy, but I did, and the reason being was because I thought I was that syndicate, invasion was also very scary to deal with. I'm going to actually just see what. Ah, there we are. We got another one. Look. Okay, I'm going to chase those across here and see what we can find. That's the Spy Master's army. He's strong. I've got a bandit archer as well. Okay, Raven's Heart's completed its construction. Askawain says, I put this game on pause as I'd read there was a biggish patch due this week. Just gone, but I'm guessing it's delayed. No, there is a patch that's come out in the preview version. So we've got a new version now that you can try. It is bleeding edge though, so it's going to have bugs as always. But apparently, most of the crash bugs a number of the crash bugs have been fixed, and it's got a load of new content in the game as well. So if you do want to play, if you want to try that, just be aware that it is bleeding edge. So it's going to be a little bit, it might still be buggy. Yeah, I need to build something here. How long till archery? 8 seasons. Do I want archery? Archery is pretty good. Having 8 archer in your army at this point of the game is usually okay. The thing is that you have to have good bows with them. And there can be better stuff. Mind you, we have jumped across. Let's just go for it anyway. I think it'll be fun to use it, even if it's not necessarily optimal. Okay, what do we need here at Raven's Heart? We need food. Yeah, we need food. Oh, I still got meditation up there. I wonder if we could get something better in there. Sovereign's Call might be good if we've not got that one already. I forget which ones we've got in here now. Yeah, I think we've got Sovereign's Call already. Nature's Bounty, Sovereign's Call. Okay, so that's the growth stuff. So we can get rid of those until we've got food. So we can get rid of... I don't know if I want to... Oh, it's only 25 mana. Let's get rid of Sovereign's Call and instead... Merchant's Blessing might be worth it. We've already got Scholar's Sanctum up there. Defending units start with regeneration. This is really nice, but I don't think... Yeah, we haven't got the mana for it yet. And I'd rather have... I think I'd rather have the growth. Or if Vitality is not a bad idea. Have we got that one yet? No. Let's just put the... we'll have a gold increase. Okay, Ascoman says, I found archery to be extremely inefficient. It's just not just the low damage compared to melee at the same time, it's a huge initiative penalty too. Yeah, you can build around it though, and the ability to hit stuff from long range shouldn't be sniffed at. Now, what I will say is that if you're playing this particular faction, if you've got plenty of mana, archery is less of an attractive thing, but the ability to just be able to reach out and touch people from a long way away is worth it, and they're not necessarily low damage. Like, you know, especially if you've got like a defensive build and you've got like a wall of spearmen or something, you can pepper people with arrows, and enemies will bring things like mages. Archers are really good against mages. So that it's inefficient in the sense if you're just fighting against, you know, melee armies. Yeah, I'd say. Little bit saying I've just played the new update. So far I like it. Lots of bugs, but I'd say but at the same time, lots of bugs were squashed. Had to start a new game though. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't install it. Little bit saying stupid M key not working good. Sorry. You'll have to replace your keyboard, sir. Let's see. Shall I get another Chain Axe Maiden? The only thing is, I kind of want them coming out from this one. Now, Tenfell. We have got another. So we've got the Glyph of Life here. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. We're not getting attacked at the moment. I think instead, I think I must have mistaken that for something else. I think we want Heart of Fire here. That would be really, really nice. Let's just get meditation while we're waiting. And yeah, again, growth's not going to do us any good here. Let's just get meditation up while we're waiting. In that case, let's go for the garden. I think that's going to be what we need. Under the great leadership and forward thinking of Madame Dana, the Empire of Kaviri has now built the Great Mill. Okay, this is a wonder. Let's go and take this guy out. Now, he's strong. He's got a really high attack. But I think there's stuff we can do about that. So I don't want Battle Queen to be on the front line here, though. Okay, let's do Obscuring Fog, because that's going to make it so that these are harder to hit. Oh, look at that. One hit. They took our axe unit down. Oh, nearly. Let's just keep it there. Oh. Okay. What was that ability? Okay, no, I'm not seeing anything. I think that might have just been an animation error that made it look like something was going on that it wasn't. Oh, they dodged. Gosh, these are tough. Okay. Okay, target's out of range. Come on then. Yeah, okay, it's not allowing me to move it. Let's just there we go. Okay, so it works just on that one. That's weird. I thought that was a line ability, but it might be because I needed to be in, you know, a little bit closer there. Oh, this is going to go badly, I think, this battle. I forget, is this the game where I've got the ability to run away? Because if it is, I might do that. No, it wasn't. That was a different game, wasn't it? Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, these syndicate troops are really, really scary. 22 damage on my hero, look there. Let's heal her up. And see what we can do. Just one sec, folks. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Just come back to the stream. Oh, the mouse pointer's gone. Okay, right. I'll tell you. Yeah. I've been. If the mouse pointer's gone, I can fix that. There we go. Sorry, guys. I've been recording video footage for work, and so I was turning off my mouse pointer there. Let's just get this. Ah, there we go. That was a decent attack. Oof. Oh, I forgot about the archer too. Oh, they dodged. Yeah, this is looking a bit sketchy. He's not going to do any damage at all, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him back and we'll use a soul spark here. Oh, they resisted. How unfortunate. Oof. Now I was looking at their stats and thinking, yeah, I'm gonna lose units, but I don't think I'm gonna lose this, but I think I'm gonna lose this. Because they got really high dodge and they've just got tons of hit points. Like massive hit point pools. Come on. Ah. Okay, he's down again. It's probably going to pick up another injury. That was a good hit though. And we dodged the counter hits. And we got a counter hit in ourselves. Excellent. This is looking a little bit better. Now I just need enough hit points left to be able to take out the archers. They're going to be peppering me from long range. Come on, one more hit and we got it, I reckon. Oh. Just not much damage from those archers. They're just irritating more than anything. There we go. Okay. So Battle Queen's going to charge forwards. We don't have enough mana to actually do anything here, but she might have some skills. No. In that case, we're just going to... Oh, okay. That was her. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there. Yeah, that's not going to do me any damage. So let's get forwards. Hopefully she can chop through these. Oh, critical hit. Great job. Okay, I thought I was going to lose that, but managed to look out. Tenry's saying, I hope they improved the amount of information the game provides one with, be it in the UI or the glossary. They lack in basic information, which leaves me often guessing, and I don't enjoy that. What is it specifically having problems with? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure all the...
Welcome to Elemental. My name's Brad.
Okay, so we've got Ask Brad, but pretty much everything is explained in here, I think. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't gone through these for a while. I don't know how much of it's been updated since Fallen Enchantress, but I mean, I think most of it's still relevant. Okay, let's get Battle Queen back to here. Taking out that unit was probably not the smartest thing that I've ever done, but, you know, it stops them just from running around and potentially coming in and killing one of my cities. Dave Flea says, please explain how combat works. You hit stuff and they die, basically. I mean, okay, so everything's based on initiative, right? So initiative is... Oh, Terry says essence as an example. No clue what that is. Plus the army size is nowhere to be found in the UI. Well, you can see the army size on here, but also it is in... Let me just check this. So... Okay, so what do you want? So you want how many troops there are here? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Essence. Well, essence is where you put your spells, right? So these are your spell slots. That's basically what essence is. So the more essence you've got, the more slots you've got for spells. I think that's in the Hirgamenon, though, isn't it? Just small examples that stack up. Yeah, I see what you mean, but I mean, like, I think it's all in the Hirgamenon pretty much. Like, it's same with combat. Combat's all described in there. Like, you know, it's pretty simple. The attack is the amount of damage you do. Defense blocks damage. Dodge stops from being hit. Accuracy is what you have in order to hit. So the higher your accuracy, the more likely you are to hit. If you want exact formulas, then you're going to have to look elsewhere. It's not going to be in the game, I don't think. But then I'm the wrong person to talk to about that, because I'm a big advocate for not sharing exact formulas in games anyway. And in fact, in my own games, I often put little stuff in there to stop people from min-maxing by just by like little random numbers and things, because I think that once you start heavily min-maxing these kind of games, you sort of, I don't know, I think you're losing the theme of what it's about. Then, especially in a game with RNG, right? You don't want it so that it's one of the reasons why I don't like deterministic combat systems in games very much, unless they're done very well. Like Gladius is done pretty well because it's really complex, so there's lots of room for surprise anyway. But at least until you've, unless you're a galaxy brain and you can kind of crunch all the numbers every single time, or you just spend ages looking at the tooltips. But the reason why I like randomized games, because I don't want to always be certain of winning, because that sucks. Then why is it called Radiance in the city menu? I don't know. That might be just a naming convention thing that's carried on from one game to the other. Mary Discuss says, I think you meant the current maximal army size. I haven't really seen that stat anywhere either. Alright, fair enough. So, where would you put it? Probably in your kingdom report somewhere? Maybe here. So I'm, by the way, just for those of you who don't know, I'm the worst person to talk to about UI stuff, because I just don't care. I don't care about UI complaints, man. Like I used to play games in the 80s where there was no such thing as UI and quality of life. So I'll just use whatever's there. So I can criticize UI now. Do you have to? I do have to provide feedback on UI at work and stuff. But my natural inclination is just to kind of just use what's there, and if it's not there, I don't care. So I'm not the person to talk to about user interface stuff. Askawen, have you played Zephon much? No, I can't get into Zephon. I don't know why. I don't think it's just not as good as Gladius somehow. But I don't know. It might be. I've just not played it enough. What are we doing here? Let's train some more units. Let's get another chain axe maiden out. So, Altar, would you be interested in trading knowledge? Yes. 18 warfare for 18. Civilization was probably good for me. Oh, we still haven't got trading yet. That's because I got attacked. I've had to go into warfare. So okay, one of the things that gives structure to these sandbox games is pressure. Okay, and so I see people making dumb, kind of. It seems to me to be dumb claims, right? So you'll often see things like, "Oh, it's always optimal just to move for to go into civilization stuff first. So why would you bother with warfare or whatever until like late game?" Well, the reason is if you don't play it on easy, on the easy modes, then you will get attacked, right? And like in this game, for example, I wasn't able to go into the trade stuff now. This is a kind of a common complaint I see with like 4X gamers a lot, that they have this kind of inclination towards min-maxing, and that is fun, right? Min-maxing's fun if you're a min-max type. The problem is you can min-max all the fun out of a game if you don't actually have pressure. And so difficulty, like a friend of mine says this, difficulty kind of clarifies games design, and so the more pressure that you get in a game, particularly in a 4X game, the more that you will see how well that game design stacks up. So if things don't seem to make sense on first play, always up the difficulty, because often the people in close testing groups and stuff are often veterans, and so the developer, I'm not saying this is about Stardox games, just saying in general, right? You'll often find that veteran developers and testing groups and beta testers and stuff tend towards higher legacy skill. So often games are going to be balanced towards higher difficulty levels. So what was I saying about Zephon? Yeah, so Zephon, like, I just feel it's not difficult different enough from Gladius really to justify what it is. And so you got the issue with it that you really have to play it with that end game scenario, because if you don't, the diplomacy makes no sense, and it kind of really throws the game out. the system of Gladius was really nicely balanced, and it didn't have diplomacy. And so when you throw diplomacy into the game, all of a sudden you reintroduce all those problems that 4X games have with, like, basic tacked on diplomacy systems, which is they're not, because it's not core to the gameplay. It tends to be used just to cheese the AI into not attacking you until you're ready, basically. By the way, I didn't want to be putting that on. Archery I want. So that's why. And I think the way that Zephon balances that is by giving you the endgame crisis, right? Because in that sense, it is important. The diplomacy is really important if you play the endgame crisis on. But I've seen so many people say, oh, I don't like the endgame crisis, so I turn it off. And it's like, well, why are you playing Zephon then? Because that game makes no sense without the endgame crisis. It's just, it's just a worse version of Gladius. It's Gladius with an updated UI and less troops and less coherent games design, in my opinion. But at the same time, there's new stuff coming into the game, and I do think Proxy are a really good studio. I think they are very good games developers. So, it might be that I'm just mistaken on that. Who knows? I don't think so, though. I think my assessment is Zephon's about spot on. But there's a new DLC out for it. I think my buddy Sean's got it. Mary just because it says players will optimize the fun out of any game. You'll always have some meta. Yeah. Ascarian saying Zephon for me is a technical upgrade, but the lack of exclusive factions just made it less interesting, even though it's improved elsewhere. Yeah, that was a big complaint, I think, from people. Sandbox games need to be built to be sandbox games, right? This is a sandbox game, and what I mean by that is, let's give some structure to that vague term. So, at any position in a game of this or Galciv or some other sandbox kind of style 4X, when you are faced with a certain kind of challenge, whether it's on a strategic level in order to achieve your eventual victory, like maybe 200 turns in, or whether it's in the immediate term to deal with a tactical situation you've got to deal with or a particular problem, on a sandbox game you're going to have many more options that are correct, that will avoid a game over state. Whereas in a more tight game, what I would say like a puzzle or like a more pressure-based game, or low headspace, if you want to use that sort of terminology. In a lower headspace game, there are fewer moves that you've got, and so the higher the pressure of a game, the more that you feel that you can get pushed into a corner, and you're just like, right, okay. So, for example, this game, even though it's a sandbox game, has pressure. As you saw, that syndicate thing that came in, that almost killed me. You guys didn't see it really, because I narrowly won a battle, but if I'd have lost that battle, that would have been it. That would have been pretty much game over for me, I think, especially if I hadn't been able to get out of the war with these guys, with Ithril. So, it is Ithril. So that's what I mean. That was a high pressure situation, and so at that point, I had to go into weaponry, blacksmithing, and armor, because if I didn't have the units to be able to deal with that threat, that would have been a game over, right? So at that point, your choices of what you can do in order to continue the game and still have a chance of winning are reduced. Now, I think that, like, for example, Gladius is a pretty high pressure game, and I think that while there's lots of room for self-expression in that game in terms of your style. But the higher you pump the difficulty, the lower the headspace, in the sense of the lower the amount of moves that you can make to avoid a game over state. And so Stardock's games are very, very high headspace, and like the challenge for these kind of games is to ensure that there is enough pressure to make it so that all this stuff is worthwhile. Otherwise, you do get people going, oh well, you might as well just build all the civilization stuff, get your resource modifiers up, and that kind of greedy play, that just becomes a no-brainer. So sandbox games suck unless there's difficulty, for me anyway. I mean, some people just like the feeling of building up a nice empire and for it to be chilled out and stuff. That's okay. Like but if I'm going to play something like that, I want to play something like Anno that's built for that kind of gameplay. But I'm not saying that you should play the nice thing about Galciv is, for example, Galciv 4, the reason why I like it very much is because, let's say you don't want to play a military game, you could just set the game to, I don't know, the example I would give would be like a large map with lots of space to expand, not many neighbors, not many AI nations, and you're playing the Mimot or something, and then you're trying to see how fast you can conquer, you can spread out to the galaxy, because that's their thing, right? And, you make use of their high reproduction, and you try to figure out how you can... Now, that's an optimization puzzle, and that's really good fun. That's what I mean by Galciv being a sandbox game. There's so many ways you can play it, and it supports all those different styles. The problem is that if you go into it thinking it's Master of Orion, you're going to have a bad time, because it's not a high-pressure game in that respect, at least until you put the difficulty up, and you clarify that game's design with a high difficulty, right? So, going back to Zephon feels like they're trying to introduce more sandbox-like mechanics into the game, but the base design wasn't designed to do that. So all these things that they're adding in just feel tacked on. And then that's not true, by the way. They have made some real efforts. Like the fact that they added that endgame scenario, that storyline endgame scenario crisis thing, showed to me they thought about the issue of diplomacy, because without that, the diplomacy, it just breaks the game. It's just completely against the game's design of how Glaziage should be. So... yeah, and I think that was my complaint about it. I don't think most people really cared about it in that technical sense as much as I did. I think most people's complaint is what Askawian's saying here, which is that it just didn't really feel like the factions were exclusive, interesting enough. All right, what am I going to do in this game? Gosh, my mic sounded hot there. Just drop my mic volume a little bit. Where do I want to be? I kind of got to the point now where I need to pick a target, I think. Ithrill's still a big scary target. I'm just not strong enough to take those guys on. Okay, we've got quite a lot of unrest, so let's get that bell tower out now, I think. Let's put that up there so we've got a blocker. I don't think enemies can run through your territory unless they're allied with you. Sorry, through your actual buildings. And so, yeah, we are blocked in. We can go this way. And we can go this way. And that is it. And we are small. We're, as a 3-city nation, that's pretty bad. Not anywhere that we can actually go here. In terms of expansion. Not really. There's a crystal crag there we could grab with a settler. Excuse me. Oh dear. Yeah, I guess we've got to start doing some of these missions. I think that's probably a thing to do until somebody inevitably attacks us, and then we'll defend ourselves again. Ancient ruins. Let's have a look at this one. This dig site looks abandoned. Inside you find a room littered with maps, papers and diagrams. The last people to explore this site thought it was a lost temple of Mascrinthus. But after reviewing their notes, you find they're mistaken and are able to determine the location of the real temple. As you leave the dig site, you hear the clanging of scrap golems, former defenders of this site. Your rooting around must have awakened them. Well, okay, we'll go to find Lost Temple, but I don't think I can do that because scrap golems are going to be way too tough. Mary Discusser says, just take some from an enemy. Cities, yes, exactly. That's basically the correct answer. Okay. An almshouse shows a city's compassion for the least of its citizens. It provides 1 fame per season. We've got the embassy. The city doesn't receive an unrest penalty based on the amount of cities you've got. That is really good. Very strong. Governor's office provides you with +1 production per material in your... So how many material have we got here? We've got 4 here. That's really good as well. That's really good. But I think, fame might be nice. But losing the unrest is really strong as well. Now I'm going to go with this. In the next version of the game, by the way, the way that fame works is kind of different, and the way that you recruit heroes is different. It's back to how Brad had originally intended it to be. Okay, that is a scary thing to be dealing with. Yeah, I do need to take something off someone else. The problem is that everybody we've got nearby is pretty strong. They're at war, though, with this really, really tiny nation here. Okay, we're at war with them as well. That's amusing. I don't know why they're at war with us, because they can't even get to us, probably. Oh, there's the scrap golem. Oh, they're not that tough. You ain't so tough. Okay, let's go and deal with them. I don't think. Let's just double check to see what they've got in terms of defenses. Immune to criticals, immune to poison, but they're vulnerable to lightning. Ah, okay. So we've got lightning bolt. Also, we've got soul spark with lightning damage as well. So let's just zap him with something like that. Okay, axe damage. Axe characters took some damage. Let's use the soul spark. There we are. Extra damage for that. Yeah, we can't use that yet. He needs to pass the turn first. Let's see if we can... Oh, look at that. Simples. I thought these were going to be tough. Fortunately, we do get some metal out of them too. Ascarian's saying, are we going to get more choice with our champions? I really enjoy customizing my rulers and units, but we get no options currently with champions. I don't know. I don't know whether you get to customize those or not. Actually, I don't know what the plan is there. I think that in the spirit, like, okay, so if I was the designer, right, in the spirit of the game, I think you should be able to customize them. Because everything else in the game is pretty customizable, right? So I think you should probably be able to do that. Let's just see if these Queen's Ward can take this guy out. Bonk. Okay, we'll just smash this guy through. There we go. Okay, it's nice getting metal as well, actually, for killing those. How many have we got to kill? Okay, I don't think that was I think we've done it, so... Oh no, there's another one here. There we are. I'm just going to auto-resolve that. I don't think this thing's going to do us any damage. A Strand says, this game has such gigantinormous potential. I agree, yeah. And I think that, you know, it's encouraging to see so many people have wishlisted the game. Like, a fair few people have bought it, but it looks like we got loads of wishlists, which means that, you know, it's clear that people are interested in the game, but they're waiting on it because they want to see whether, you know, where it's going to go, whether Stardock can pull it off or not. And I think I'm confident that Stardock can polish this game up so it's really good. I'll give you 17 in warfare and exchange 17 of your knowledge in warfare. Yes. Why have I switched back to trading, by the way? Was that because yeah, I'm just being dense. Sometimes I'm going in to check stuff and I'm actually changing my research. Oh, we got more of these scrap golems. There's lots of them, look. Let's just auto resolve these. There we go. Oh, wow. Did take a fair amount of damage there. Okay. Let's put this Axe Chain Maiden Party in here. Okay, I think here now. Let's get a bell tower up to reduce this unrest. We don't need to keep pumping units out quite yet. I think the immediate threat is over. I'll just kill this myself because I don't want to take any more. Oh, mind you, most of that damage is healed, look. Okay. So this is the Queen's Ward. We can just have those guarding. Small amount of damage there. Oh, it resisted. Interesting. Okay, we've got these Axe Chain Maidens. I kind of want to test these out because these got higher attack now. They should do more damage. Those Spearmen need upgrading, I think. Now, if I remember right, those are are those the same Spearmen that I gave a bunch of equipment to? I think they are, aren't they? Yeah, that was a Spearman party, but look, we've actually got given them actually some magic items. There they go. Mary Discusser says, I always build my cities in a line as you can then almost teleport from cities to cities and also reach more resources without outposts. Yeah, I've noticed that. I do wonder if the movement bonus in your own territory is a little bit too high. I think it probably shouldn't be quite as high as that. Okay, this is trading. Let's just finish off archery. Let's kill the last of these. I think this is the last one, is it? I hope so. Let's just also resolve that. There we go. This thing's pretty strong. It's got a couple of little units that are not very useful. But this thing's pretty strong. Got spell resist as well. I think I should try and take that out though. Just because it could be a fun battle. That's funny, I've just found I've got some militia here. Just upgrade those guys. Can I upgrade the size as well? No, not yet. Let's go and take out that river slag. This is a very, very unusual term. Slag in English means something that it doesn't mean in most other languages. At least in colloquial British English. It means something very different. $20 damage straight off from the off. Here this thing comes. Look at the model though. I still think these look pretty cool, man. After coming down here and just taking one of these water shrills out. Okay. Now we'll have these spearmen moving here so they can tank the damage from the from this monster as it comes in. Same with the Queen Ward. They can stand in a line. Then we can get that defensive bonus out. I think we'll put those guys there. Oh, they're going for it though. He's going for them. Probably recognises those as the main, you know, as a big damage threat. I was vulnerable to fire, so yeah, that was a good spell to be using. Where are we? Flame to oh, yeah, it's on a cooldown. Zap it with some lightning instead. Things are casting slow on us. Okay. Okay, we'll get guard up. I don't think they'd do much damage, but we'll just give it more targets. Oof. Okay, and here we go with the Axe Chain Maidens. Okay, that's a little bit more like it. Seven damage there. Queen's Ward with the hammers. Oh, okay, they've slowed. I probably should send something down to kill those. But let's just see if we can work our way through this river slag thing. I've been wanting to kill this all game. Oof. Lost a unit. Nearly there. These things are a pain. I should have dealt with them earlier. Let's stop those things from slowing us. Only 3 damage. Yeah, One-Eyed Master just missed there as usual. I'm just going to focus on this thing, I think. Let's get it down quickly. There we go. It goes down just before it gets to take its turn. And then we've got the Water Shrill to finish off. Ariel killed something. I'm impressed. Asgarwian says it's definitely too high. Needed to move 4-ish squares, but there was no road. The unit moved all around my road network to get to the point and still had movement left. Yeah, I think it's a little bit high as well. One thing I've noticed about Stardock is that they often have... I feel like there's often a little bit of overcompensation in terms of trying to make things move quickly. You know, I think they're a little bit scared of having gameplay that is slower paced, and so that will be I'm pretty sure that's what that's going to be. What do we want here? We get Archmage, Firestorm, Flame Wave. Brings forth a wave of flame that causes 8 plus 2 per fire shard. That sounds pretty cool. Let's go with that. This guy, I quite like having these defensive abilities he's got. Okay. This is probably the way to go. Let's give him Defender. New Paradon. Yeah, okay, so we've got 15 food. It's going to reduce what's it even more? Unrest, and give us more zone of control. Let's build that, I think. Okay, there's an archery finally. I think we want some of the civilization stuff now. It's going to come out quicker. Get construction. Ascarian says, makes sense though. One of the biggest and most frequent criticisms of Gladius was slow movement, especially in home territory. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? One of the things that you don't, one of the things that you lose, yeah, when you start speeding stuff up is tactical nuance. So if you start making everything fast in Gladius, then you can suddenly, jump around, more quickly move around the enemy, and slow positioning and careful positioning is all of Gladius's gameplay. This is what I mean. So when you make changes like that, it has knock-on effects on the rest of the design. So Gladius would be bad if you just improved the if you sped all the units up. It would be way worse of a game. It'd be it would be much it'd be much easier just to pull off kind of very complex tactical play. Part of the deep gameplay of Gladius is formations and figuring out where your units are placed in relation to one another. That is the gameplay. And so if you just speed stuff up too much, I mean, this isn't that kind of game, but let's say this was like something like Warlock, yeah, where it's a kind of Master of Magic like, except the combat takes place on the strategic map. It would be the same there. If you speed everything up in Warlock, then tactics kind of go out the window because you can just move anything anywhere. And I think that's probably the argument with Fallen, with Elemental here. Being able to move too quickly through your own terrain, in my opinion, it's a problem because it reduces some of the tactical gameplay. Ascarian saying, oh, I agree with you, just commenting that a lot of 4X players seem to complain about it a lot. I like the old school approach where careful play. I agree with you, I'm with you there. So modern gamers have this problem where they need everything to be immediate and fast, and they don't seem to care about taking their time. They want everything now. They won't read manuals. They don't like I was playing so Battle Queen was playing Aura, yeah, and she got really into Aura, and she was struggling with certain things. I was like, just read the like this thing, Aura's got like one of these, yeah, like an encyclopedia. I was like, just read the encyclopedia. And she's like, I'm not reading. I was like, well, okay, don't learn then. What, do you want me to read for you? And like, but I see, like, Explorminate, like all the younger gamers, they're all the same. No offense, guys, but they're all the same. They're like, they won't read anything. They won't, like, it's the attitude is, if I have to read a manual, then I'm not going to play it. And I think it's strange because, okay, be like that, but then your games are going to be limited in what you're going to be able to experience, because if you can't handle a bit of complexity, then and that's why I'm kind of going off modern games, because it's not just modern games. Modern games designers are making games like that. They're making it for people who don't want to think. In my opinion, I'm a bit I'm being a little bit hyperbolic there, obviously, but there's an element of there's a grain of truth to what I'm saying. I really like these doubles friendly movement in zone of control. You do not need that. I will never build stables. It's already really fast. Let's get these guys back to New Paradon, and yeah, okay, I'll accept your peace proposal. We'd like to offer you tribute. If it pleases you, we will be even willing up to give you 55 guildar up front. That's resolving. Well, you were at war with me earlier, but yeah, I'll take your gold. By the way, we can start rush building stuff now because we've got loads of gold. So let's just, because now we're starting to get a decent amount of gold in, we should be making use of it. So here in New Paradon now, just because we built that We rush built that building, Town Hall. The inn might be useful, getting a food bonus. Also a Gildar bonus as well. But the bakery might be better. So we get that factional build bonus. A-Strand saying, my first 4X was the first Civilization game in 1991. Yeah, I think that's probably the first one I played as well, but I didn't play it in 91. It was a bit later than that. I think I would have... my friend who lived up the road from me, very nice guy, he had a PC, and I didn't have a PC. And... So here's a bit of battle mode lore for you. I used to do kung fu, and there was a wushu. It's called wushu. And there was a wushu club in Derby, which is like one of the only couple in the whole country for training in Chinese martial arts. So me and a bunch of my friends went, and we became good friends with the trainer. And he was the he was a member of the British kung fu team, or the British wushu team, and then he went on to train be a trainer for the British wushu team. So we were training for the British team, and we used to go to his house, and he had a PC, and he wasn't averse to a little bit of piracy, let's say. So we used to be able to go and get we'd go to his house and see all these games, and it was the first place that I ever played. I think it was Civ. Probably I got from that guy, or my friend got from him, and Dune 2 and TIE Fighter, which was just like the best game I'd ever played at the time. That and Dune 2 were just like, what? Like, what's this cool game? And what else? Doom. It was the original Doom. I think we got from Mike as well. So yeah, he was just great, and like he was really into video games. He was really high up in the IT industry. Interestingly enough, he founded the... Is it alright to tell the story? Yeah, I'm sure it is. So he actually founded the first internet dating website called UDate. Him and his friends, they built that company, and then they floated it on the stock market. So that guy was retired by the age of about 30. He's a great guy as well. He's a really good... I consider him to be one of the biggest influences in my life, because he's like a kung fu yuppie. It was like one of the 80s most surviving yuppies, and he was only young as well. But yeah, he was well into video games, and I think that was what got me into PC gaming in a big way. So that would be when I first played Civilization. I think was from a disc that we got from that guy. But the first 4X game that I remember buying myself, I think, was Star Wars Rebellion, or Star Wars Supremacy as it's called in the UK. Okay, let's get these guys out of here now. We need more units. What are they? We've got a bandit army. Let's just auto-resolve that. I'm beyond dealing with bandits. Wow, we've got wild grain. I don't know why I didn't build that. Ascarian saying... Gonzalo Rodriguez says, man, I'm old. Started gaming in the 80s in a ZX Spectrum. Yes, me too. That was my first computer too. I think I had a ZX Spectrum 48K in about 85 or 86. I would have been... No, it must have been 86, I think. So I would have been 6 or 7 years old. And then I got a ZX Spectrum 128. So... I'm going to be doing some more retro gaming stuff on the channel, by the way. I've got myself a Mr. FPGA, or it's actually a console that's built around that system, and that will emulate everything, basically, from about 1970s, whatever, up until about 2000. With the PlayStation, I think, was probably the last thing that it will do, the Saturn. But that is amazing. I'm like having the best fun with that. I've got a CRT TV to play it on, and I've been going through like old games. I haven't bought any new games in ages because I'm just going through all those old console and computer games. But I'm going to be playing some ZX Spectrum games that I grew up with, so you guys can see why it is that I don't care about UI. Why I just don't care about UI complaints still. So yeah, Gonzalo, yeah, I'm with you on that. ZX Spectrum. I really like the Commodore 64 as well. Ascarian said, I upgraded from the VIC-20 to the Amstrad CPC 464 with the green screen. Yeah, I remember it. My friend had one. Loved games like Double Dragon, Gauntlet, and so many Codemasters games. Yeah, Codemasters were great, weren't they? They were great on the, was it Codemasters that did the Dizzy games? I think it was, wasn't it? And they did... Oh, what did Codemasters do? Oh, Micro Machines. Micro Machines is such a great game. Scholar's Sanctum Mediation. I think we can probably replace this now. Oh, this is the Conclave one, though. I really want to get Hold on. Yeah, we want the... oh, hang on. Can we get the extra essence here? No, I don't think so. Ascarian saying, yeah, Dizzy was such a head scratcher at times. Yeah, it was. It was just really well produced, though. Treasure Island Dizzy was... I remember playing that and just... On the Atari ST, I had it on. And I was like, oh my god, this game's so good. It was a head scratcher. I think it was one of those games that I like the idea of it more than I like playing it in the end. So let's just see what we've got. Yeah, I really want Heart of Fire here. So let's just get rid of... Oh no, we got a spot for it. Great work. Get Heart of Fire. That's going to give these guys anything that is trained here fire damage. So let's get... Oh look, now we've got the ability to create horsemen. Mage Bane. Okay, so I feel that once we've caught up on some of the civilization stuff, we need to go into magic, because we've got the option to get some really cool stuff here, and we are a magic faction, I think. So I think I'm going to go with these Axe Chain Maidens. Yes, I've got plenty of metal. I think we probably need to upgrade. Oh, hold on. Did I get that farm? No, not yet. Let's get that first. Let's get that farm up. That's going to give us more grain. I don't know why I missed that. That was a real mistaker. A mistaker to maker. Yeah, we need a granary here, I think. Hail, Battle Queen. I've come to warn you of the growing power of Ithril. If we do not act soon, the world will be under their dominion. No, they won't. They're next to me, and once I've got to the point where I'm strong enough to take them on, I will. I just don't have... Look, they've got really high hit points, look, and pretty good armor. And chewing through all those hit points is a real chore. So we need to get ourselves some weapons that are better. Weaponsmithing might do it. But I want to finish construction first. Okay, let's finish this quest, I think. Can he send us out? Oh, hang on. Powerful Ithril are destroying us. Hey, let me see what we can do. Now, these are kingdom. We are also kingdom. What do you need? Probably need Gildar. Ah, I can also give them... Let's just trade them some tech. And I'll get something out of it myself, of course. Okay. So they're going to like me more. Yeah, so is it Ithril they're getting beaten by? I thought we were... So we are at war with Ithril. Okay, that's interesting. I thought I'd actually pieced out there. We've still got... There's more scrap golems, look. I thought I'd killed them. Let's go... Since we're at war with Ithril, let's go and threaten him and see if we can do some damage. I do need more units, though, first. Okay, here's construction, giving us the fort, the foundry, great mill, mason. The great mill's gone now. We can't get that. But the mason and the high tower, this is going to increase our manufacturing. I think we need that. That was a good one to go for. Let's get education as well so we can upgrade our research so it's a little bit faster. It's going to auto-resolve this guy. Mary Discuss is saying you've also got archers now. Yeah, that's a good point. So let's design an archer and see what we can do with that. Now, yeah, I'm aware that they're not the strongest unit, but... That's my caravan, that is. They just got... The problem is with these guys, they've just got so many hit points. That I can't really... I just don't have the damage to be able to chew through them. Upgrade their attack. Yes. So I'm tempted to just give these guys some better equipment. Just give, just rather than wasting it, because if we're going to be carrying, using all the units, we might as well actually be using them properly. There's Queen's Ward Party as well. That was them. Okay. How many of these things are around? This spawned a lot of scrap merchants. Okay, they cast Tremor. Is it they cast it on her? Yeah, they have. But she can't move. Now, is he going to use that to run around me? Yeah, look, they've got a spy. Oh, wow, what's this? A Garrot. Or a Garrot. That's not that bad. It's this guy that's going to be horrible, though, isn't it? 78 attack. Look at that. Really high attack. Now, see, for example, that archers are going to be useful against stuff like that. The only problem is that you do have that low initiative. Once that tremor wears off, we'll bring these guys back to defend, I think. Okay, 10 fell. Let's train and design. Where are we? Fire Maidens. Is that one that I made? I think it is. Yeah, I think this is something that I made at some point. Let's just edit these. We probably want faster initiative. I think faster initiative is pretty much critical with these. I forget which one it is now. Balance is +2 initiative and +10 dodge. So we've got a bit of a music bug here. Yeah, it's definitely the initiative stuff we want. They've got lithe, they've got balance. Maybe that's the best thing for them. Okay, let's just give them better stuff though. They do need to be leveled up. 89 labour. Belt of speed is going to be 1 crystal. That's fine. +20 dodge versus ranged attacks. So that's more crystal. But that makes them pretty survivable. No, that's not working at the moment, I don't think. Okay, let's just save that. We'll call these new Fire Maidens. There we are. Okay, let's get some of those. Oh, you just removed the 2 armor pieces that gave the initiative. Very discusser. Okay, let me have a look at that. Initiative 12. Ah, okay. Now I see what we're doing. Okay, so that was dodge. That's the accuracy one. Yeah, so these were picked carefully actually. Yeah, the +1 initiative, there we are. Give them the defense. Yeah, I think the dodge is probably better than defense. Okay. Alright. These are more expensive, but there we go. Let's just close that one off. There we go. Okay, here we go with education. Sorry, maybe it's because saying balance says minus initiative below. Which one is right? I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Might be one of those things that's that's been altered since the original game. Enchantment's good. Let's get that, because that's going to give us magic items to put on our troops. And that might be what we need in order to help crack this this guy here. We don't have enough troops here, so let's get these back. Okay. Gonna put you on guard for a minute. Okay, let's rush those new fire ice maidens, whatever they're called. New fire maidens party. There we are. Okay, just one of these is enough. And then we need some better stuff on the front line too. Let's go to design and just delete that. Retire that one. Retire that one too. Queen's Ward. Let's see if we can make a new soldier class. Look at that. Let's not worry about the aesthetics for now. Let's just put some equipment on them. So we just want everything that we can get in terms of the best equipment. I think we want defense over accuracy with these guys. Put the chainmail proficiency on them. Yeah, 20 defense is a bit better than what we had before. They're a fair amount of metal though, that's the only problem. I'll put some spell resistant cloak on too. Weapon wise, what do we want? Let's put the Warhammer, I think. It's just not enough attack, is it? Yeah, so the short sword's actually got better attack than the Warhammer. This will give them an attack bonus as well. That's pretty nice as well. So once they are damaged, you can actually do more damage. Now, oh, sorry, you get more attack. That's essentially do more damage. Okay, let's call these the Battle Guard. All right. So, what I want to do is kind of phase out these crappy units. So, but I'm going to keep them... I'll keep them in here for now. We're just going to patrol around here while we're waiting for these new units to come out. Okay. Kiwi, we've appreciated your work in the past, Battle Queen, but the time is approaching when the world must unite under one rule. Our rule. Okay. He's going to attack me. Fighting two at once is going to be tough. Now, we're getting strong, I know that, because they're starting to get annoyed with me. So... what's that? Okay, I wasn't able to see quite how many... Oh, the perceived value, that's right, it's just covered up. Okay. Okay, and we're going to demand tribute as well, since we're looking after you now. Yeah, he's going to give us tribute too. So we're going to be earning some money just from tribute from these guys. I think we've already got a trip. Okay, it's weird. Oh, she's got horses. They're kind of worth trading for if you haven't got any. I wonder if I've got any in my territory. There you go, we have. But we've not actually got the horse technology yet, which is... Oh, we have. Okay. Oh, that's wild game. Sorry, that's not horses. That's just me being blind, of course. Let's upgrade the iron mine. Wow, I didn't realise I could do that either. And the farm. Okay, since we've got so much money coming in, I'm going to be using the rush build as much as possible. Okay, I can't rush build those. Rush build that though. Just going to take out this shard. Yeah, look, they've really, really heavily guarded this. Let's just see if we can move through this territory and see if they've got a weaker city. Let's see how we do. This is going to be a good test to see how well our new units are doing against these troops. Let's just pass her for a minute. This was an old unit, so I'm not worried about them too much. Okay. I'm going to hit with these because I'm going to have to chew through these again. Okay, he's not doing much damage. These are just the old spearmen, look. Although they are using weapons. Good weapons. Okay, here's the new fire maidens. Okay, 6 is reasonable damage to do with an archer at this stage of the game, I think. That's the big damage, though. There we go. From the Queen's Ward there, with those big axes. So, yeah, we're still a little bit... Okay, he's used Tremor again. So we can't move that unit. However, here we go with the enchantment spell, enchantment tech. Okay, so that would unlock new magic. I feel like we probably need to be doing warfare or magic stuff. Longbow's a little bit far off for me. Let's get the arcane mastery. What is this? Juggernaut? Oh, he's wounded. Feel no pain, know no fear, need no rest, fight till the foe falls, then seek the next battle. Those are the watchwords of the Yatranata, the Juggernauts, the elite among all Trog warriors. Soldiers segregated from their brethren on the 11th name day for special training. History says their first battle came a dozen years after the Kendar conquered Terrath Nu, when 8 of them overthrew a city full of Magnar II's troops and retook Kirtion's throne. Okay, they got fairly high dodge, and they got quite high attack. Oh yeah, we've got Tremor on us, of course. That's why I can't do anything here. Now, I'm not going to attack those guys, because they're currently fighting... Oh, they're currently in enemy territory, so... Let's just put the Burning Blade spell on here. Quite a lot of mana, actually. Oof. Oh, he's got Maul. Yikes. Oh, Maul with an axe. That's just painful. Okay. What's this magic defense? Oh, it hasn't got much spell resist, so spells might be a good bet. And this guy's going to heal these. 13 damage from the spearmen. Archers. Oh, missed. Okay, he's got quite good dodge. He's agile for a big guy, look. Okay, Maul's going to kill those. Oof, nasty. Maul's such good ability in this. It's one of those... So, again, another one, you know, when people ask me to give specific examples of why I think that Age of Wonders is a bit lame in terms of like the combat mechanics, they wouldn't have anything like that in Age of Wonders, right? Where you just can keep hitting over and over again until you miss. That would just be considered to be just like unfair, or, you know, like, too difficult for people to deal with. But there are ways of dealing with that. This kind of games design is very much like of the old classic roguelike tradition, where there are hard counters for stuff, right? So, you know, you can try to take on that guy in melee, but look what happens if you do. But if you've got to find a better way of killing him, and because they've got that maul ability. I love stuff like that in games design. That's what I want. What I don't like is when, you know, they just take all the stuff out of it like that, because it's considered to be unfair or unbalanced or whatever. Alana, hello. Lol, I ended my video today getting wrecked by a maul. Yeah, right. I really like it. I think it's, you know, I think if they, you know, if it was on too many units, it would be terrible. It'd be, you know, I think it's fine to have it on a couple of units, because it's a challenge, you know, that you have to deal with. Okay, these guys are going to offer me tribute, but I like having that option, you know. Here's our first battle guard party. God, look at that guy. So some of the new textures coming in. So let's bring this party up. Okay, peace in our time. So Battle Queen should be able to move now. No, still got tremor. Okay. Okay, here at Raven's Heart. Let's just see if there's anything around here we can upgrade. No, I don't think so. Can't get the wild game because I've not got that tech yet, and I don't really need it. Okay, Mason's going to be good. So is the school. But I think the Mason's just going to be better for us because we've got so little production here. Alana's saying, yeah, it makes it very fun, right? So that's what I mean. Like I like stuff that's dangerous and lethal in these kind of tactical battle games. I want something that can kill you in one go if you don't know how to deal with it, you know? Like granary. No, we got loads of food. Whoa, where did all that food come from? Is that right? Yes, 138. Wow. Okay, so that was from building the grocer, I think. So we're going to be getting more. In that case, maybe we get rid of meditation, if that's what we've got going. Antipathy. Still not affecting us that much, so I'm not worried about that. I might be able to dispel it if I've got a dispel spell. Dispel enchantment, yeah. Okay, so there we go. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, all right. Was that just that might have been a target enemy city? No, dispels a random enemy enchantment on target city. Okay, well it didn't work. So there you go. I haven't really been using a whole lot of my spells, man. I probably should be. That would probably help us a little bit since we are the spell faction. Let's get. Where are we? No, I don't need extra growth. Yeah, extra growth. There we are. Not extra grain, extra growth. So let's just make use of this this food we've got as quickly as we can. And yeah, we'll get that mason up. I probably should have got that a little bit earlier in the game. McGill, hey man, how's it going? You can't have both meaty and involved strategic layer and at the same time meaty and involved tactical layer. The game would be very cumbersome to play. What, like Age of Wonders? I don't know. I think the strategic layer in Age of Wonders is probably simple enough. So I think this is definitely picking the strategic layer and Age of Wonders a tactical layer. Yeah, I think so. That's what I've been saying to people. I think where this game's got a better balance between strategic and tactical combat than anything else. But at least for who I am, and I know a lot of people who are like me who don't like Age of Wonders for the same reasons. Okay, Arcane Mastery, spell books. Let's go. Come on, let's start getting some of this magic stuff. I've realised that I'm playing a faction that is really based around magic, and I really should be using that more rather than just kind of leaning into the just trying to go full on Magic. Mormon Gill, hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, I'm doing well, man. How are you? It's always good to see you, bro. Oh, wow. Verga's attacking us. Okay. I'm in big trouble here. Alright. We're going to have to use everything we can. And I still don't think we can win this. Because Verga himself is just scary. 52. Look, there's nothing we can do about that. However, we do have some spells that we can probably use. So let's use focus. I feel like we got to take this thing down. Let's just we'll just use as many of our spell scrolls and stuff as we can. Oh man, look at that. Yeah, I really got caught out here. I forgot that we were at war. Okay, so she's cast focus. I don't think that's going to help her. Let's just cast that, and I'll use this flame scroll. This is going to do some damage to them, but I think they're going to just chew through us pretty quickly. No, I've got these archers, but again, I'm just going to use... How many of those flame scrolls have I got, I wonder? By the way, Lana, is that a bug with the flame scrolls? Because I just seem to have infinite flame scrolls. I don't know if that's just me just not understanding how it works, or... special skills. Right, we got some big spells. Fire. Let's just get a fireball in if we can get it off. Verga's off there. Look. Escape. Not only is escaping this inevitable fireball. There we are. All right. Let's even the odds a little bit, but Verga's going to wreck us, I think. Whoops. Oh, it's still not dead. Oh no, here comes more. Oh dear. Defeated. Oh, Ilana's saying there is a bug. Consumables aren't being consumed. All right, is that fixed in the new version? Ascarian's saying, I think the great tactical combat from Age of Wonders would have been better suited to an RPG. Past end of early, start of mid, it just gets too tedious. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that what would make Age of Wonders 4 better is if the spells did more damage, they were more interesting at the start of the game, and they're not locked behind this big tech tree. Like, just because you've got... all the early spells are boring, basically. That's my problem with that game. And all the early units are boring as well. So, and they slowed the early combat down even more recently for some god knows reason. I know why. It's because they said that newer players were struggling, feeling that the enemies were killing them too easily, which is the opposite of what needs to happen with Age of Wonders. It needs to be faster, more lethal, you know, more interesting abilities at the start of the game. Like, just because you want to get the really cool, super exciting spells at the end of the game. That doesn't mean the early ones have to just be like 5 fire damage. This one's a radius attack with poison damage. This one heals, you know, this one protects against fire, whatever. It's just boring, really generic crap. I think they could have just so much, like, trying for good developers, they can come up with some better stuff than that. Ilana's saying, I believe it's partially fixed. Okay. All right. Where did we get sent back to New Paradin? Yeah, we did. All right. Let's just see what happened to Battle Queen. Did she actually pick up any traits? No. Okay, so she's not actually getting any wounds. That's good. Civilis 1980 says, Age of Wonders never managed to suck me in like this game does. It's just more fun. Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you where... When the battles grab me in Age of Wonders, I really like it. Like, I loved Planetfall. I didn't love it, but I liked Planetfall. I thought Planetfall was the better game. Although the strategic side of Age of Wonders 4 is better than Planetfall, definitely. I think if they mixed the combat and the modding system from Age of Wonders Planetfall, but got rid of the determinisms and brought back the RNG in it, that would be so much better. And then the strategic side of Age of Wonders 4, that would be a great game. Ascarian saying, I don't think rulers get injuries, or if they do, I've never had one. Oh, okay, I might just be mistaken that then. I just thought she was getting lucky. One girl says, tedious big engagements is a common complaint for Age of Wonders. Personally, I never felt like that, but then I've not played 4 yet. Planet 4 had amazing combat, I loved it. Yeah, I think Planet 4 was the best one that they did, in terms of, in terms of that games design that they've got with Age of Wonders. I think Planet 4 brings the best out of it, at least in the tactical combat. Mary Discuss is saying, do we get some new and exciting spells in Elemental Reforged? I mean, you just use the boring deals fire. Yeah, but it's okay. So you're saying deals fire damage in a 3x3 radius. Yeah, but that is a powerful spell, and you get it early, and it obliterates enemy armies. Yeah. Nothing in Age of Wonders 4 will do that much damage, especially that early in the game. So it's totally different. It's the amount of damage that it does. It's like, how does it make you feel powerful? Like the fireball spell in this is so much better than anything in the early game of Age of Wonders, because it's not designed just to do like pissy amounts of damage. Everything in Age of Wonders is super overbalanced, right? So they're too afraid of letting you do too much damage. Oh, they don't want you to be able to kill a unit in one hit. And I think part of the reason is that in this game, right, here's an example of why this game's design is way better than Age of Wonders. Just one example of many. There is a choice that you can make in this game, yeah, between the units that you because it's an RPG system game, right? You've got a choice. You either throw loads of like crappy low level chaff at the enemy, right, or you can kind of try to nurture them and keep them alive as long as you can and level them up as well, right? So you can kind of do that in Age of Wonders. They've still got the same leveling up system, but it really encourages you to keep everything alive. Like if you lose something, like if you lose some basic chaff units in Age of Wonders, you're kind of done. Yeah, if your main army, you lose a bunch of like your high level units that you've been nurturing for a long time, then you're finished. You're gonna, especially on the higher difficulties, you're gonna lose the game, or you're at a serious disadvantage, which is in a way exciting because it means that you can't make so many mistakes, but it's less interesting for the player because you don't have that choice of, do I keep this guy alive or do I put him in a position where oh wow, I'm going to lose my level 10 spearman, but I'm saving the battle because I'm putting them in the way. And do you deliberately create units that are low leveled? I mean, there is a little bit of that in Age of Wonders, but it really encourages you towards one play. This is what I mean, that Age of Wonders is better as a tight puzzle game, like as a tight high pressure low headspace game. That's where Age of Wonders is best. But the more sandbox shit that they put in that makes it look like you can play a certain way, actually it's not really designed to be a sandbox game, and that's why Age of Wonders falls to bits with the more sandbox crap you put in it. Ascarian saying, I think the overbalance in Age of Wonders 4 is due to multiplayer balance. It's why I both do and don't want it for this. It's not just multiplayer balance. Because there's not that many people who play multiplayer. I mean, even Age of Wonders 4's got like a big player base, but I would be surprised if there's more than a couple of dozen people who play it in multiplayer. Maybe they've got 100 multiplayer players. If they got any more than that, I'll eat my hat. Mormon Girl saying, yeah, there's no comparison in terms of sandbox gameplay. Fallen Enchantress is way more sandboxy than Age of Wonders, right? But what's good about this game is that the higher the difficulty is, the more the AI puts pressure on you, and you have to start using those many tools. It's not just like, oh, play your way, it's not like a Lego game. It is a little bit like that on low difficulties, but if you turn the difficulty up, you do have to play a certain way in order to survive, right? Because the difficulty clarifies the game design. And I think Age of Wonders is more difficult in terms of the AI, because the tactical AI is really good in that game, or at least it was when I was playing it. And the strategic AI is just kind of sort of all right, but it's been a while since I played. But yeah, so that's an example of what I mean, where I think everyone loves Age of Wonders, but nobody criticizes it enough. Like, it's not a perfect game. There's loads of stuff wrong with that, and I just feel that it's one of those really annoying games where you try to, whenever you speak out and say, here's a obvious problem with this game, right? This is where the game's design works against itself, and everyone goes, oh, I just can't see it. And it's just like, no, take your blinkers off then, because there's got problems. Out of all the games that I criticize, I get the most pushback over Age of Wonders 4. It's like one of those games where people are just fanatical about it, and they don't seem to see the problems. Mary Discuss is saying, a lot of game devs focus mainly on the multiplayer communities, even though those are the minority. Multiplayer often seems to be the louder crowd. Yeah, so for example, Mary, okay, you know Dominions well, right? Dominions is out of all the 4X games that there are, Dominions has got the highest proportion of multiplayer. So it makes sense in Dominions, for them to balance for that. But they don't. They do a little bit, I think, Illwinter, but they always have got that strong single-player community in mind as well with everything they do. So they do change stuff and they do nerf things occasionally, but they make stuff stronger or whatever. But they do it with, generally, I think, in thinking about the whole game, and that annoys the multiplayer community because they're like, why can't you just, this is too strong. It's like, yeah, it's because single player games need to have OP stuff in it. Now, Age of Wonders, like I say, I'd eat my hat if there's more than 100 people who play that multiplayer regularly. Like there and there's thousands and thousands of regular players, but I bet a handful of them play multiplayer. So if they are balancing it for multiplayer, that's stupid. It's just stupid. But I don't think it's that. The problem with the Age of Wonders 4, as I've said before, is trying for a big studio. They need to make money, so they've got to make the game appeal to more casual players because they've got to get more sales. That's it. That's simple. And so they've nerfed everything, sanded all the rough edges off, made everything like really underwhelming, and had this very safe gameplay. Civilis 1980 says, this game has that feel Dwarf Fortress and Project Zomboid has. Like it's someone making the game they've dreamed of playing as a kid. Yeah, well, it is. I mean, I think this is like Brad's baby game. It's like this is the one, that he really wants to be right because, they had a few efforts at it and technical problems got in the way. Mary Discuss says, true. I said most devs, not all devs. It's definitely something that I noticed. Yeah, okay, yeah, I get you, man. Civilis 96 says Age of Wonders is very good, but it doesn't have that soul. Yeah, I think it's a great game for what it is. It's just very safe. They've focused very heavily on the aesthetic stuff, and it's not always meaningful aesthetics, in my opinion. And that's to appeal to a broader universe because there's a lot of gamers who like playing dress up. I mean, if you're going to put it in a rude kind of derogatory term, by the way, I like playing dress up in games as well. I spend ages on character creation in games if the game is, something that I'm going to be playing a lot. Oh, what we got here? Oh, they put another buff on us. No, it's just antipathy again. So I do like aesthetic stuff, but when it comes, like when they've dumbed the game down in order to put the aesthetic stuff in, that really annoyed me with Age of Wonders 4. Right, anyway, folks, I think I'm going to start winding down because I've been doing it nearly 2 hours, and I wouldn't mind coming back on tomorrow. So try and save my voice, but thanks so much for coming and watching me play. I'm not doing well here at all, but I think it's good for you guys to see. I mean, I'm not a great Fallen Enchantress player or Elemental player, so I've been playing inefficiently, and I should have done a lot better than this. But I think it's good for people to see that yes. No, it's not true. The AI isn't completely broken. It's not completely passive, as I've seen some wrong Steam reviews complain. This is not it's not the AI just sits there and do nothing. I'm sure if you're like an expert at the game and you min-max it, you can crush the AI, but then that's going to be the same with any 4X game. Shadow Empire is a difficult 4X game, and I'm not a min-maxing player and I can crush the AI on that. So I mean, it's just dependent on how much time and effort you put into these games, whether you want to learn it. But yeah, look, I'm doing badly. I'm not doing that badly. I'm third. It's interesting though. Look, I'm doing quite well, I guess. And I think with Paradin now, the way I'd be playing this is playing defensively. If I was thinking about like how am I going to go towards victory, I think I'd be going for the speller making on this one. Okay, Civilius is saying goodbye. Yes, Asgarmian is saying thanks for the stream. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Mormon Girl says cheers, Mr. Katz. I'm curious how the War of Magic and Sorcerer King elements are implemented in this. That stuff's coming back in. Sorcerer King is already, some of the stuff's in with the crafting look. So we've got the crafting system now from Sorcerer King. It's a very nice crafting system for once in a 4X game because you literally just hit craft. That's it. It's really easy. You just hit one button and it's done. There's no juggling stuff in your inventory. War of Magic, I think they're bringing in the legacy system, the kind of like relationship and kind of breeding the heroes. That's going to be cool. Mary Discusser, yeah, see you later, man. Hope for some Conquest for Elysium. Yeah, I'll come back to COE. I was working on a tier list video, but it's so time consuming to do that, because I'm having to play every faction and I've got to play, you need to play a faction, I think, at least like 4 times, right, on different settings to be able to get an idea of how they play. So I've actually I had a list of stuff that I'd written down for a bunch of them, but I don't know if I've still got these documents, so I might have to go through them again. But yeah, sorry, David A saying it's the dynasty system. Thank you. But yeah, Conquest of Elysium, I will come back to it. That is my favourite fantasy game at the moment, and but I'm really enjoying playing this. I think what I might do now for a bit is I'm going to try and finish this game if I can, but we'll see. But once this new preview version has gone into the main version and it's a little bit more stable, then I'll start a new game with that, because I think there's loads of new features in. Civilist 1980 says COE just makes me want to play Dominions usually. Yeah, I don't know, but like, no, I don't. I love Dominions, and I've got thousands of hours in Dominions, like 2,000 hours minimum, at least, and most of that's in single. Well, it's probably about evenly split between single player and multiplayer. So probably about 1,000 hours in each. But Conquest of Elysium for me is like, it's one of those games that I think if it makes sense to you and you get it, it's a overwhelming obsession. Like, I've got an overwhelming obsession Conquest of Elysium. I want to make a video about it and say like why I think it's one of the best games ever made, even though a lot of people will disagree, and they'll be like, oh, Conquest of Elysium, one of the best games ever made, is it really? I'll be like, yes, and let me show you why. If you're into that kind of thing, it's very intuitive. Yeah, it's I think Conquest of Elysium is one of those games where, you know, the more you play it, the better it gets. Like, and it's just only Illwinter make games like that, man, where, you know, they've just been working on the same game for basically 20 years, and it shows. They are very, very good games designers, man. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off because my throat's starting to go. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take it easy.